You have two interesting things that I saw in there, and one was the Shines protocol and one was the hormone archetypes. Let's start with the Shines protocol. Can you go into what that is? Walk us through the Shines protocol for hormone balance and how you even developed it.
So, over the last 20 years, just kind of sitting with patients, what I found was that there were similar storylines, like 12 of, I came up with 12, and those were the archetypes and the hormones. I believe that narrative medicine is super important. So when patients are talking to you and they're telling you the story of their asthma or their insomnia, you have to listen to the story piece because that's the important part. And so the Shines method was kind of a conglomeration of me trying to put together, my 2 years of integrative medicine, my 6 years of PhD, and my practice patterns in gynecology, and come up with ways that women could have as much possible means to treat these hormone imbalances. And so it's an acronym because you have to have a fancy acronym when you write a book. The first S is a spiritual practice. And I think, a lot of women or people will think spiritual practice is religion, and it's not. It could be if that's the way that you want it to be. But it might be something like journaling or walking or learning how to say no. There's different things in the book that for different hormone imbalances, then they each have their own spiritual practice. The H is for hormones, which is pretty self-explanatory. And that's where you might need a provider or a doctor that can actually prescribe the medications. The I is what I call infoceutical information. And what that would mean is energetic transfer to the body, because there's a lot of patients, especially living in Austin, and I was in Tucson before, where energy medicine is a very important part of some folks' life. And whether that's healing touch or Reiki, essential oils, acupuncture, things like that, I made that a step for those folks that want to dive in a little bit deeper into that. The N is nutrition. Obviously, I feel like if there was a food pyramid for hormone imbalance, the most important one would be nutrition, because I think we just don't eat a particular good diet, and that's the basis of health in general. So E is exercise, obviously. And sometimes, I recommend not doing super heavy exercising, especially if somebody's cortisol levels are super low. And so each of those has its own exercise plan. And then the final S is supplements. And I put that in there because obviously probably 80% of the population is using some sort of vitamin or supplement. And I really wanted to help women kind of dial in because I've seen people that are on $500-$600 a month of supplements, many of which overlap and may not even actually cover what what they have. And so I really wanted to just dig down. So it's a 6-step protocol. You can use one, you can use all 6. 5 of those steps are self-care. You don't need a physician, and 1 you actually need a prescription for.